Okay. All right. So let's get started. And so this chapter 4.
Prabhuji,
Huh?
sorry to interrupt. I have a
Bolo.
question too.
Bolo, bolo.
It's related with the one which Twinkle asked. So in chapter 2, we have the definition or like explanation of absolute truth, like the three phases of understanding it. So it's like Brahman, Paramatma, and then Bhagwan. So is it
Right.
the same?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Brahman is Brahman effulgence, Paramatma, and
Uh-huh.
Bhagwan is personal form.
So
Yeah,
the Brahman is the first one with the Brahm Jyoti.
correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
So Brahman effulgence, sometimes just called Brahman. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure, no worry. Okay, so chapter 4 actually starts with Krishna mentioning to Arjun that he first imparted this knowledge that's contained in Gita to sun god. The sun god's name is Vivaswan. Vivaswan then gave this knowledge to his son, who is the current Manu, by the name of Vaivaswat. So you should write down this name, Vaivaswat, Vaivasvat. Now, it's going to get a little confusing, but I'm going to say it anyway. So the period during which a Manu reigns is called Manvantar. And it lasts 305,300,000 years. So don't worry about that. Just a long time. Out of that, 120,400,000 years have already passed. That means the current Manu Vaivaswat is at least 120 million years old. So now if we assume for a second that sun god gave him this knowledge that he got from Krishna almost immediately after the birth of his son, then it would appear that Krishna gave this knowledge to to Vivaswan 120 million years ago. Manu then passed this knowledge to his son Ikshvaku, who was born at the beginning of Treta Yuga, which was 2 million years ago. That means Bhagavad Gita has existed in the human society for 2 million years. That's a long time. From then on, it has been passed on to the descendants of Ikshvaku, generation after generation, through oral reception. So basically, they say it, another person hears it. In the ancient times, there were no printing presses, as you know, nor were there pens or paper. So people had extraordinary memory that allowed them to hear this type of knowledge, hear it, remember it, assimilate it, and then, this is the amazing part, perfectly communicate it to the next person without adulteration. No change. This spiritual knowledge that was passed in this manner is therefore known as Shruti. Shruti means something that is heard. This is the concept of parampara or disciplic succession, as we hear about this, where knowledge is passed in this manner from person to person to person without any changes or adulteration, as I said. So this chapter 4 is entitled Transcendental Knowledge. For it is this knowledge which outlines how one can establish their connection with God and then see Him through their ears rather than through eyes. And this is what Prabhupada always said. We see Krishna through our ears, not through our eyes, which is by hearing the name of Krishna. Now, one other thing I should point out is that any knowledge that comes from Krishna is free from 4 defects that all humans have, because Krishna is absolutely perfect. Therefore, the Vedas, and I think I mentioned it in one of the previous classes, that the Vedas are the sound vibration from the flute of Lord Krishna that entered into the heart of Lord Brahma. And Gita is also spoken directly from the mouth of Krishna. Therefore, Gita is also perfect and must be accepted as it is, without any human or mundane interpretation. And that's why Srila Prabhupada insisted on giving the name Bhagavad Gita as it is. No interpretation by anybody. Say it like he said it. Say it what he meant. So because of the four defects that all humans have, any attempt to interpret Gita or any Vedic injunction for that matter are bound to introduce our defects and break the disciplic succession and change its true meaning. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita must be accepted as it is from the disciplic succession. So we don't read Bhagavad Gita from people who did commentary on this but belong to some other sampradaya. But Krishna was concerned that, look, 2 million years is a long time. So many generations have been hearing from one another. So he was concerned that the disciplic succession had been broken. And this knowledge had been not just changed, but lost over time. So therefore, Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita again, this time to Arjuna, around 5,000 years ago. Now, something else I want to talk about. I'm sure every one of you on this call have at some point or the other purchased a TV or a cell phone or a car or some kind of kitchen equipment. So sometime in your life you have done that. And I'm sure you have also noticed that they all come with a user manual which explains the functionality of the equipment, how to take care of it, and operating instructions and all those kind of things. So the reason I say that is that Bhagavad Gita and other scriptures are just like a user manual for the instrument that we, the spirit souls, have acquired. So what is that instrument that this soul has acquired? Anybody wants to tell me? What is the instrument that our soul has acquired?
Our body.
Our body, exactly. So that instrument is this body. And the manual, which is the Gita and other scriptures, they contain instructions, guidelines, do's and the don'ts. They also tell us about the purpose and the function of the instrument, which is this body. So as I said before, I'm sorry.
And how to clean it and how to clean the instrument.
I'm sorry, say again?
And I said, and it says how to clean ourselves. How to
clean us. Okay, sure, of course. Yeah, which is part of the taking care of it, yes. So as I was saying before, Krishna originally imparted these structures of Gita and the guidelines in the Gita or from other scriptural documents like the Vedas. And those instructions have perpetuated in the material world through qualified and saintly persons who impart spiritual knowledge to the masses in a dynamic, relevant, and practical way. So we could actually think of the material world as essentially a university wherein we rediscover our relationship with God. As the creator and maintainer, Krishna periodically appears in the world to re-inject spirituality when it's lost, remove materialistic influences, and to ensure the smooth functioning of the universe. We will discuss this in more detail in a few minutes. Now, sometimes people ask, so why did Krishna give this to Arjuna only? Well, Krishna chose to impart this knowledge to Arjuna because Arjuna is his devotee and friend. So what's the significance of that? Well, as a devotee, Arjuna is receptive to the spiritual wisdom in a submissive mood, which means that Arjuna is not going to argue for the sake of arguing. And as a friend, he is keeping an open mind. But at the same time, being a friend, he's very comfortable scrutinizing Krishna's statements and asking relevant questions to improve his understanding and to clear any doubts that come to him. Of course, I mean, as we all know, the best way to understand Krishna is with love, and Arjuna has plenty of it. But in this particular situation, they were in a situation where Krishna was speaking and Arjuna was asking questions. But again, remember Samvad and Vivad. So this is Samvad going on. Arjuna is accepting what he's saying, Krishna is saying, but he's asking questions to move the dialogue along and to improve his understanding. So now Arjuna expresses surprise. How Krishna could have...
Sorry, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Anju and Sangeeta, she can't log in the Zoom. I don't know what happened.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Both are waiting.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Prabhuji, Neetu is also there.
Okay.
And Sneha is waiting too, I think. So you
Sorry
can...
about that. Thank you.
No, it's okay. Hare Krishna.
Hopefully they are there now. I wasn't paying attention. I was so busy speaking. I wasn't paying attention to the weight room. I hope they're there now.
Hare Krishna, I'm in. Thank you
Oh, good.
so much.
Hare Krishna. Good to see you.
I'm so sorry.
Hare Krishna, I'm in too. Sorry,
Good.
I can't turn my video on, Prabhuji.
That's okay. So, yeah, I wasn't paying attention to the weight room and just kept talking. Sorry about that.
No worries, no worries. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you. Welcome back.
Please tell them they missed my celebration.
Oh, yes. So you missed a great celebration because Twinkle has graduated, finished her master's.
Congratulations.
So we celebrated her graduation
Congratulations. Congratulations.
with fireworks.
She's a bomb herself, so.
What's that? She's a bomb herself. Okay, got it.
I hope in a good way.
Very good way. Very good way. Okay. All right. So let's get started. So, as I was saying, Arjun is now expressing surprise. And his surprise is, how could Krishna have given this knowledge to sun god millions of years ago? And then Krishna uses this as an opportunity to establish his godhood. He tells Arjun that he has taken millions of births, just like Arjun. But this Krishna saying, Krishna remembers them all, but Arjun does not. Krishna also expressed the reason for his appearance in verses 6, 7, and 8. And he emphasizes the point. Somebody, can you please mute yourself? Somebody's too much noise coming. I'm just going to mute everybody. Okay. So in verses 6, 7, and 8, Krishna emphasizes the point that Krishna appears out of his own sweet will. In his own way and with his intrinsic nature, in that he never becomes material. He's always spiritual. Excuse me. And also, he doesn't really take birth like you and I do. He appears more like the sun appears in the east and sets in the west. So he appears and disappears. Actually, the word we use is manifest and unmanifest. There's no birth or death for Krishna. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop for a second. Excuse me. And I'm going to ask, excuse me, a question, a couple of questions. Okay, so first question I'm going to ask you is, does Krishna always come as Krishna? If not, then give me some names as what he appears as.
Rama, Narsingh.
Okay. Okay,
Lord
good.
Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jagannath.
Who said that?
Usha.
Usha. So let me ask you, is Jagannath an incarnation?
No, it's Krishna
No.
going to his sister's place or something.
Right. So Krishna is just taking another form. It's not a separate incarnation.
It's that extension of him.
Expansion.
Expansion.
It's a different form. Actually, expansion is not even right. It's just a different form of Krishna. It's
In
not
the same,
expansion.
in the same incarnation. In
Same
the same.
incarnation. Exactly. So not incarnation, not expansion. Krishna himself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Lord Chaitanya was himself too.
Correct. That is correct. So, which leads me to the next question, which is, what does the word incarnation mean?
Can you repeat?
What does the word incarnation mean?
Rup.
Like, what is the meaning of the word?
Another
Just
rebirth.
Just appearing again.
No, no.
Are we
Huh? Sorry?
We are debating.
Are you debate? Okay. Should I help?
Yeah, we do.
In
Please.
different
Okay.
forms.
Go ahead. Nandbro.
It is in different forms, like appearing in different forms.
Okay, so you are almost. No, not part and parcel. So it's appearing in the material world.
Incarnation
So,
means.
incarnation means when it comes down to the material world, it's known as incarnation.
Oh,
okay?
So the taking birth in the material form.
Not birth, appear. We don't say birth for him. He's not born like you and I
Appear in the
in the material world. Okay?
appear in material world is incarnate.
Okay. Do you have any questions before I move on?
Yeah. So I have a question. I'm Nanda Kumar.
Yes, bro.
So is like, does incarnation happens only once in one yuga, or like how often, and like we can expect incarnation?
So you should know that there are billions and trillions of incarnations. So that's the first thing. There's unlimited number. And depending upon the age, there can be many incarnations. So for example, in Kali Yuga, how many incarnations have we already had? Does anybody know?
In Kali Yuga.
In Kali Yuga. That's the age we are in today.
nobody knows it like it.
1,24,000?
No.
18.
No.
Sorry, what was your question again?
How many incarnations have we already had in Kali Yuga? And how many more are we supposed to have?
Nobody knows.
Infinite.
It's
Can be many.
it was
32.
Okay, I think everybody's guessing now.
So I think that, Uncle, you were saying there's a Kalki coming.
Yes, that's correct answer. So
yeah.
one incarnation about to come at the end of Kali Yuga is Kalki. That's the correct answer. How many have we had so far?
in the very beginning it was I forgot, but I know it was in the very beginning.
Okay, well, not quite at the beginning, but 2,000 years ago,
Yeah.
Lord Buddha came,
Yeah, that's true.
right? And then 500 years ago, who came?
Krishna.
Chaitanya
500, yes.
Oh, 500. Okay.
Yeah.
500.
Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Mahaprabhu.
Mahaprabhu, sorry.
Got it.
500.
Krishna appeared in Dwapar.
5,000.
Yeah.
That is Dwapar Yuga. Okay, so yeah, so different incarnations. Okay, all right, let's move on. Okay, excuse me. So in verse number 11, Krishna explains that he
So
reciprocates.
I have one more question.
Yes, of course, go ahead. Nanda Prabhu, is that you? Sorry, somebody said they had a question.
Yeah, this was Nanda Kumar again. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead. No, go ahead. What's the question?
So like if So the next incarnation is only like at the end of Kali Yuga. Like,
Correct. Correct.
which means like in at least in like thousands and lakhs of years, we cannot expect any incarnation.
Correct.
Okay.
So there is another 427,000 years to go before Kali Yuga ends.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. So as I was saying, in verse number 11 of this chapter, Krishna explains that he reciprocates with us in direct proportion to our surrender to him. In other words, the more we surrender to him, the more he surrenders to us. Krishna reiterates that everyone, be it a karmi, a karmakandi, a karma yogi, a jnana yogi, dhyana yogi, or a devotee, everybody follows Krishna's path in all respects, either through his internal potency or his external potency called Maya. But he is fully realized, like Krishna is, fully realized only by his devotee who worships his personal form. Similarly, a devotee may serve Krishna in any of the 5 mellows, and Krishna reciprocates accordingly. So, for example, a pure devotee could serve Krishna as a friend, and Krishna reciprocates as a friend. A pure devotee like Mother Yashoda may serve him and love him as a son, and Krishna reciprocates as he is the son of this devotee, and so on and so forth. That's his reciprocation. Now, most people know something about religion and something about God, but their understanding can often be quite hazy and confused. However, when transcendental knowledge is received through the disciplic succession, then one gains an accurate understanding. Krishna clears up 3 common misunderstandings of Eastern spirituality in verses 11, 12, and 13. That's fine. Verse 11 addresses the misconception that all paths lead to the same destination, Krishna. Krishna explains that while there is unity in diversity, there are also different gradations of spiritual elevation. Excuse me. And verse 12 addresses the misconception that scriptures talk of polytheism and we worship many gods. Krishna re-emphasizes the monotheistic stance that there is only one God. Others are just different forms of it. And verse 13 addresses the concern that the caste system is unfair and exploitative. Krishna outlines the true criteria and purpose of such classification by explaining that the varnashram system is based on qualities and activities of a person. So 2 things, qualities and activities of a person, which are based on the modes of material nature and not on birth. When the classification is based on birth, it is called a caste system with all its inherent issues. So once again, caste system means I'm the son of a Brahmin, so therefore I must be a Brahmin. And Krishna says, no, that's not true. And so I'm basically going to ask you, what is the need of the society that Krishna was trying to fill when he created the varnashram system? And also I need you to name the varnas and the ashrams. And anybody can do that. So what are the 4 varnas, first of all?
So, yeah, four varnas are like Brahmanas,
Uh-huh.
Kshatriyas,
Mm-hmm.
Vaishyas, and Shudras.
Right. And the ashrams?
Brahmacharya,
Mm-hmm.
Grahasthashram,
Mm-hmm.
Vanaprasthashram is last, but I don't know the third one.
Sannyas.
Vanaprasthashram and Sannyas.
Correct. Very good. So those are the four varnas and four ashrams. So then the question is, what was the need in the society that Krishna was trying to fill by creating this varnashram system?
Like people should understand that what they have to do in this age, in that
In
particular
this life,
ashram,
in this life.
in particular ashram.
Correct.
What is their duties?
Correct. So
What they should do.
everybody should understand their prescribed duties
Yes.
and execute them, because if they don't, there'll be chaos in the world.
Yes.
And as you can see today, there's a lot of chaos in the world.
Yeah.
Right? A Brahmin shows up to say, I'm going to do puja in your house or yajna in your house, but doesn't know mantras, doesn't know anything. Just really screws up everything. Right? Or somebody who's a Shudra saying, I'm going to Kshatriya, I'm going to go to the war and fight and all that. It doesn't work. So it's very important that the system is created so that people follow it, know their prescribed duties according to their quality and nature, and then the world goes smoothly. Okay, let's move on. In verses 16 through 24, Krishna emphasizes the importance of following the footsteps of our previous acharyas in the line of disciplic succession. Take advantage of their knowledge, their wisdom, and their experience. Otherwise, even the most intelligent people will be bewildered regarding the standard and appropriate actions in Krishna consciousness. We must understand that the principle of religion can only be established by God. And this is a very important point. I'm going to repeat this. We must understand that the principles of religion can only be established by God. No one else can manufacture a religious principle by imperfect speculation. Of course, as you know, that doesn't stop people from trying. And many, many people are misled by those man-made principles of religion. Now, Krishna explains three very interesting terms. It's karma, vikarma, and akarma. So karma, vikarma, and akarma. And we must understand the distinction between these points, or these items, I should say, if we are serious about liberation from material bondage. Now, anybody who's not serious about getting rid of this material world and going away, raise your hands. Okay, I don't see any hands, so okay. And that understanding must come from the authorities. That distinction must come from the authorities. So Krishna says that any work done with a desire to enjoy the results, but according to the injunctions of the scriptures, is called karma. I'm going to repeat that. Any work done with a desire to enjoy the results of that work, but according to the injunctions of the scripture. So the work is being done according to the injunctions of the scripture. That work is called karma. On the other hand, any work done against the injunctions of the scripture is called vikarma. So you have karma, that's according to the scriptures, work according to scriptures. Vikarma, work against the injunctions. So like sinful activities are vikarma. Pious activities are karma. Okay. So while vikarma is, this is an interesting point. Vikarma is obviously undesirable. But Krishna says that even good karma should be avoided. Do you know why? Why should we avoid even good karma?
Leave it to the God, basically. Do whatever on behalf of Krishna.
No, but why? The question is why? Why is it not good to give charity? Why is it not good
Because
to... Yeah, go ahead.
there's a sense of enjoying the results or waiting for something to come our way.
Okay, so what? Why is it bad?
Is it because if you have any karma, you real world?
Sorry, one person, please. What was that?
I can answer that.
No, let Mataji answer first.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Is it because if you have any karma, you have to stay in the material world?
Right, that's the main point. Even good karmas will give you good results to enjoy, which you'll have to come back to the material world. So good karmas do not allow you to leave the material world. And our goal is to somehow leave the material world, to go to the spiritual world. So good answer. So Prabhuji, you were saying something? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, she answered that. That's what I would have said.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, so beyond good and bad, which is karma and vikarma, there are activities performed on the spiritual level that Prabhuji was talking about. Those activities performed on a spiritual level yield no reaction. And they ultimately free one from the anxieties and entanglements of this world. Those actions are known as akarma. And it is done in the mood of devotional service of bhakti. But here's the interesting point. Bhakti for the pleasure of the Lord, with no desire for personal sense gratification, and full knowledge that we are an eternal servant and part and parcel of Krishna. And it is in that mood we perform activities knowing that we're not doing this on our own accord, but as an instrument of Krishna. So, let me just repeat it. Akarma is activity done as devotional service with the understanding that we are eternal servant and part and parcel of Krishna. And our only desire is to please him, not our own pleasure. And we do that knowing that we're simply an instrument of Krishna. When we do that, this activity called akarma not only does not result in any karmas which bind us to the material world, but it also burns down our good and bad karmas. It is only when the karmas have been burnt that we'll be able to leave the material world. Is that clear? If it's clear, then I'm going to ask you some questions.
We do.
Prabhuji, in the book, it said, like, I read it in the purport, it said action, inaction, and forbidden action.
So same thing. So I'm using Hindi words.
No. So what is the, amongst these three, what is the forbidden action?
Vikarma.
Okay.
Vikarma. So don't do it.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Anji. Prabhuji, I have one request.
Where's video?
No, video, just on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I have one request. My nephew wants to join the class, so could you let him in?
I'm sorry, who?
My nephew.
I don't see him.
Yeah, but he's not here. He will just dial in now. So I want to ask you first.
Okay, what's his name?
Girish.
Okay, so if I see it, I'll show.
Yeah, okay, I'll just tell him that.
Yeah, sure, thank you. Okay. Just give him the ID.
Yeah, I gave him. I sent him, but I just wanted to ask him.
Okay, sure, thanks. Okay, so my question is, can you give me some practical examples of karma and vikarma, some activities? You already mentioned that, but just I want to hear from you.
Karma means like doing charities or helping others.
Right. Yes. And vikarma?
Vikarma like killing somebody or thinking bad about others or troublemaker.
Okay. Okay.
Like a bad person, like honestly, like.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Good. So the next question then is, why do the activities under the category of akarma not result in karma, even though they look very similar to activities? Is the question clear?
No.
Okay, let me start again. Why do the activities under the category of akarma not result in karma, even though they look very similar to activities of the karma?
Because they're done as a devotional service.
Mm-hmm. So
like keeping Krishna as the center point of everything.
Right. So what does that mean? What that means is that there are two levels of activities. One is the material activities. The other is called spiritual activities. The concept of karma and vikarma is on material platform. So therefore, any activity that is not done on material platform cannot result in karma or vikarma, because the platform is different.
That is
Okay. The second thing is that there's no desire to enjoy. Last we were talking about is when we get the desire to enjoy that we get entangled because we get the karma. So there's no desire to enjoy the results and it's being done for Krishna in the first place. So there's no issue of karma being there. And I want to make sure that that's clear. This is a very important point. I want to make sure everybody is clear on this point.
Can you please repeat it if you don't mind?
Not at all. Not at all.
Because this is such a useful thing actually, and we want to absorb it.
Yes.
No, we want to completely absorb it actually.
That's a great idea. So there are two platforms, material and spiritual. So spiritual activities being on a different platform do not result in anything that would be from material platform. Karma is material. Vikarma is material. So therefore, an activity in the spiritual platform cannot result in karma or vikarma because that's on material platform. It's like in a crude way, if you're sitting on the 26th floor and you walk there, then you cannot be walking on the street.
Yeah.
It's just different floors. Similarly, it's a different platform. So the results always stay on the same platform. They cannot cross platform. It's like two parallel lines, they never meet. Like you're engineering. Shilpi, go ahead.
Is Hare Krishna, but is that what you're trying to say, that karma, if any activity that is done to help somebody, it's your karma, like it is, you are doing it in a materialistic world because it's not associated to please Krishna, which is the other one, the spiritual part, right?
Correct.
Whether it's karma or vikarma, still anything done for material desire, whether it's helping or whether it's for your own, to fulfill your dishes, it's all materialistic.
Correct. Yes, that's correct. The platform is material.
Okay. And is it karma or karma? I'm so sorry.
No. Very good question. So it's karma and you add V to that. So
okay.
Vikarma. So Vikarma.
Okay, vikarma. Okay.
Okay. Just like akarma is A and then Karma.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
a question which is on the borderline of karma and akarma. I want clarification. Say some food like prasad, Krishna's prasad. If we offer it to hungry people,
yes,
what will be that?
Tell me.
I thought that this is a karma.
Yeah, it is.
I think.
It is.
But
No, not
also,
it is.
there is just a very thick boundary line. It can become a karma also.
If you offer him not prasad, there is karma.
So the same food once offered to Krishna changes from karma to akarma.
There you go. It's a prasadam is non-different from Krishna, who is spiritual in nature. Therefore, prasadam distribution, honoring prasadam, this is all spiritual activity.
So whenever we want to give food to someone, we should offer prasadam.
Exactly, you got it.
That's a big message actually, yeah.
Yeah. So let me give you another example. Sometimes people say, oh, I'll give this money, some money to this person, he's hungry. Now, that person takes, say, $10. And that person goes and buys a hamburger from the $10 you gave him. Now, do you get karma or not?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do. So you get the karma of buying and eating hamburger even though you did not do either.
It becomes vikarma actually.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I was just talking karma, good and bad. But yeah, you're right. Let me give you another example. You buy a car. It's got leather seats. Do you get karma of killing the cow or not?
Yeah.
Yes. So there you go. A leather sofa, things like that.
Or wearing a fur.
Or wearing a fur, exactly. You know, I cannot buy a car by choice because it does not come in non-leather seats.
I bought one without leather seat.
No, but you are different, bro. Right? So anyway, my point is that there's something also called indirect karma or shared karma. So we have to be careful about that. Okay, let's move on.
Can I share one thing? Probably that will benefit everyone.
I'm sure.
Because,
go ahead.
Yeah, like it happened to me, and by the mercy of God, I escaped that. We were about to purchase a sofa, which was a leather sofa. And when the salesperson was explaining, and she said like, oh, this is the best leather. It is made from cow leather. And it gave me an electric shock.
There you go.
We had almost made a deal and I said, no, I don't want it.
That's right. There you go.
And then I explained and she really appreciated it. So for the benefit of everyone, the more you go for the best leather, chances are it is made out of cow, basically.
I thought almost all leather was cow, but anyway.
No, but they say like there are lots of artificial, but the best leather comes from cow.
Yeah, correct. Okay.
The word of caution for everyone.
Yes, for sure. Okay, let's move on then. So now in verse 24, Krishna defines the word sacrifice. So you'll see a lot the word sacrifice used in this chapter and future chapters also. And so he defines sacrifice as the process by which one can get out of the material world. So basically, sacrifice are activities of the material world. In other words, they look like material activities. But when performed for the satisfaction of the Lord, they become sacrifice. So again, sacrifice, work done for the pleasure or satisfaction of the Lord. That's the definition. And we'll come back to this. Then moving on, verses 25 to 33, Krishna underscores the importance of sacrifice of various kinds to acquire, understand, and realize transcendental knowledge. By the way, everybody understands the word transcendental, what it means?
Transcendental means divya.
Oh, that's the Hindi translation. Definition, definition.
Prabhuji, could you tell me which chapter is this?
Oh, chapter 4, I'm sorry, chapter 4.
Chapter 4, okay. 24 was. Thank you.
Now we've moved on beyond 24. Now talk about 25 to 33.
Thank you.
Okay, so what's the definition of the word transcendental?
Beyond this.
Anything in the spiritual world.
Spiritual world
Yeah,
or beyond the material.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So anything beyond the material world, which is the spiritual world, is transcendental. Okay? All right. So, other point I wanted to make was that while the material knowledge is dependent on the caliber of the person, the spiritual knowledge depending upon character of the person. Sacrifices help refine one's character so they become eligible to receive or achieve this knowledge. Now, the most...
Can you repeat, please? Sorry.
I'm sorry?
Can you please repeat this once again, what you just said? Sacrifice and character?
Oh, sorry. No, what I was saying was that the material knowledge is dependent upon the caliber of the person, while the spiritual knowledge is dependent upon the character of the person.
Yep. That's
and I was saying that sacrifices help refine one's character so they become eligible to achieve this knowledge. Because not everybody is eligible.
That's correct.
Very important. Yeah.
Yeah, very important point.
Yep.
Okay. So now, what's the most common sacrifice that we are all familiar with?
Ekashi birth?
I was thinking more like fire sacrifice, yagya.
Yagya.
I think everybody knows that one, right?
Yag.
So what happens in a yagya or fire sacrifice? We offer oblations of ghee, various grains, etc. In a fire sacrifice, the fire represents, what does it represent? Anybody knows?
Purify the environment.
No, what does it represent? The fire, what does it represent? So fire represents the mouth of the Lord. Fire represents the mouth of the Lord.
Oh, mouth of the Lord.
Right? And the oblations represent the fruits of our work. So the grains and ghee and all that. And do you know why we say swaha all this time in the fire sacrifice?
No, we just say.
You're so honest.
Say.
Swaha means, it doesn't mean like burnt?
No.
Wife of somebody.
Maybe taking
Yes, there you go. Yes. No, Mataji is right. Mamta, go ahead.
It's a wife of Agni Deva?
It's a wife of fire, yes.
Yeah.
The fire's wife, the fire god's wife, is called Swaha. So by calling her name, you're telling fire, you better accept it or she's going to get upset. So he accepts it.
Couldn't get it, Prabhuji. Couldn't get it.
Can you repeat, please?
Of course. So Swaha is the name of the wife of fire god.
Fire god is one.
The Agni Deva. Not Vivaswan, that's sun god.
Oh, that is different.
Agni,
Agni.
the fire god. So we invoke her name to encourage fire god to accept whatever we are offering. Okay?
Take indirect help.
Taking direct help. Actually, it's more direct than you could believe. Okay, so that's the most common kind of sacrifice. But here in this chapter, Lord Krishna is extending the concept by saying that any work done in the spirit of sacrifice is as good as the sacred fire ceremony or yajna. Okay? Basically, any work done for the pleasure of Krishna is called sacrifice. I just said that 2 minutes ago. I was repeating myself. Basically, any work done for the pleasure of Krishna is called a sacrifice. Hence, what's the most common name of a yajna that we do, we the devotees do? Which yajna do we do? Almost every day. Actually, every day.
Chanting?
Yeah, it's called Nam Yajna or Sankirtan Yajna.
Nam Yajna? Chanting.
Nam Yajna or Sankirtan Yajna. Right? So we do that. And that hearing and chanting the holy names of the Lord is called Nam Yajna or Sankirtan Yajna. Okay? But we should note that not all sacrifices are directed to Krishna. Of course, those of us who are in Krishna consciousness, we sacrifice our material possessions for the satisfaction of the Lord. But those who want some temporary material benefits or material happiness, they sacrifice their material possessions to satisfy the demigods. And then they are impersonalists, the Jnanis. They sacrifice their identity by merging into the existence of impersonal Brahman.
What? Say that again.
Yeah, Jnanis, what's the destination for Jnanis?
To merge in that element.
There you go.
Brahmajyoti.
Brahmajyoti. Should you get that?
Hanji. Yes.
So they are basically saying, I'm going to merge and therefore lose my identity.
Yep.
So they are sacrificing their identity.
Oh, because the goal is to go back, get out of this materialistic world.
Their goal is to get out of there, but they're doing it in kind of not the best way.
Shortcut.
It's not shortcut.
Not shortcut.
Not a cut at all.
No.
Oh.
Immediate.
It's not cut at all. No, it's not even immediate. They work harder than devotees do.
Why it's
But
wrong?
they don't understand that there's something beyond Brahman effulgence.
Oh.
Yeah.
Brahman effulgence. Remember I was talking before 3 features?
Yeah.
What were the 3 features?
Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagwan.
There you go. So Brahman is the lowest, most incomplete form of understanding of absolute truth. So that's the way they end up.
Okay.
Okay. Now what happens is, what is in Brahman effulgence? What do you think is there?
All pervading.
No. In Brahman effulgence, what is there in Brahman effulgence?
The whole sun, like the whole of.
That's it. Yeah, you're right. This light. That's it.
Just a light.
Yeah, all pervading, I said. I thought, yeah, all pervading means all
It
light.
is all pervading, but
Okay, fine. All just light, nothing else.
just light.
Now, if I take you and I say, okay, Shilpi, this room, it's got a floodlights. It's very, very bright. Sit here, don't move. How long can you sit there?
We are sitting in COVID now.
There's nothing else. Yeah, there's nothing else to do. There's a chair there, very comfortable chair. The chair is sitting there. How long can you sit? A day, 2 days, 10 days, 20 days? And then you want to get out.
Yep.
Is that not correct?
Yes. Yeah, you are right.
Okay. So same thing happens when somebody merges in Brahman effulgence. After all that hard work,
They come
a
back.
lot harder than devotees do. They say, oh my God, I can't take this anymore. There's nothing to do here. No service, there's no variety, nothing, just light. So they start shouting, get me out of here. And they come back to the material world.
Yep.
Now, they have benefit when they come back. They already have the jnana. So they have the choice of becoming pure devotee very quickly. Because they don't have any material attachments anymore. They're not under Maya anymore. So they have a very good chance. But they have to come back and become a devotee to get the variety, to get the service. So when you go to Krishna's abode, from there you never come back because you're holding on to Krishna's feet. Krishna is holding your hand. There's all sorts of service and variety. Everything you see in the material world is there, only in pure form. Okay, is that
Very
clear?
good. Very good, actually, yeah.
That was good examples.
Yeah, very good example.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, your first example was wonderful.
Right.
Thank you.
You said that before, and I'm like, what are you saying? I didn't get it at all.
Yeah, no, it's good to ask. I'm glad you did. Okay. So restraining sensual life, hearing and chanting sacred mantras, practicing Ashtanga Yoga, but Patanjali, it includes meditation, controlled breathing and all those kind of things. And it's used to raise the consciousness. Or Hatha Yoga, to discipline the mind and body. Fasting, going on pilgrimage, studying scriptures, they all call it sacrifice. Because remember, the purpose is to satisfy the Lord. The common name of all those is to control the senses and move above the platform of sense gratification to the platform of knowledge, bliss, and eternity, which is the spiritual platform. So these sacrifices help one to become cleansed of sinful reaction of material existence. Then they become happy and opulent in this life, and at the end of this life, they enter the eternal kingdom of Lord Krishna. I shouldn't say that. Kingdom of God, because they could enter Brahmanifaljas or actually Krishna's abode and get his association.
I have a question.
Yes, please, go ahead.
You mentioned few different types of sacrifices, like you know, Patanjali yoga or meditation and all these activities, right? So these type of sacrifices are taking someone to, what did we talk about? Brahma Vifalja?
Effulgence.
Effulgence. Okay. So which means, but isn't it like the person who's gonna go there still has to come back to material world to go back to Krishna, right?
But that's true, yeah. That's why you better have becoming a devotee. Don't go through all this trouble.
Okay.
Right? So this Krishna says devotional service is the most direct and easiest and happy way to come to me. So if you, when you go home tonight, or actually you're already home, sorry, I forgot. Chapter 9 of Bhagavad Gita, text 2. Just read that one, okay?
Chapter 9, text 2.
So I have a question.
Oh, okay.
So can I still, like I do yoga and breathing exercises, but I didn't know that this leads to somewhere else. Can I do that while chanting and everything? Because I'm just doing yoga and breathing to keep myself, you know, like stable and mentally and emotionally pretty strong. And it helps. So, and second question, what I see is what I have, and I always wonder that New Vrindavan now have yoga retreats as well. So if Krishna conscious is strictly based on Krishna and chanting and bhakti yoga, why are they promoting yoga as well?
Very good question. Actually, both your points have the same answer. So these yoga, hatha yoga, etc., they allow you to become more focused. They allow you better self-control. So with that better self-control and better focus, the quality of your chanting is better. And it's that improved quality that gets you closer to Krishna, not the yoga itself.
Right. So it'll still lead me back to Godhead.
Well, it will lead you to something, not necessarily back to Godhead, because it's still up to you whether you perform devotional service.
Yes.
So you get to Krishna only if you perform pure devotional service.
Yep.
Only devotional and then not work at all? Is that what you mean or no? Just.
Sorry, say again?
When you say if I perform devotional services, so does that mean like we have to be like Bhakti Marg Swami, or can we still be
Bhakti
like
Marg Swami?
Like, you know, like we have to still do our job, like work. Like when you say to get back to Godhead, I have to do devotional service. Can I not be like a realtor and still be in Krishna conscious 24/7?
Yeah, so you missed last week.
That's what you mean, right?
So you missed the last week session because we discussed that in great detail. Anyway, the short answer is yes. You can remain a realtor and still go back to Godhead. They're not mutually exclusive.
Right.
Okay. So don't quit your profession. Just chant better.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, that's true.
Prabhuji, I had two questions.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
I was kidding.
Don't be sorry. He's just joking. Yeah.
So the first question was, you mentioned there are different kinds of sacrifices that we do, like chanting. So the first question was, is reading Bhagavad Gita also part of that?
Yes. So, you know, hearing and chanting. So when you're reading it yourself, you're hearing it. If you're reading it with somebody or to somebody, then it's hearing and chanting.
Okay. And my second question was, what is the category of the sacrifices that like my parents do for like our forefathers and stuff? So what are those? Are they also a part of this?
They are materialistic activities.
Okay.
They're doing for the benefit of your forefathers.
Yes.
Which is fine, but like it's not a devotional service.
बताती हूँ जैसे पितरों का करते हैं ना उसके
Right, yeah, exactly. You're doing it for the forefathers.
Yep.
And it's
Thank you for
recommended.
asking that question, actually.
Yeah, very good.
It was very helpful to me also. The
Oh,
first
good.
question. The first question was very good.
Yeah. Okay.
So we are actually पितरों के लिए कर रहे हैं. We are not doing it for the Bhagwan.
That's what we were saying. That you're doing it for your forefathers, not for the Lord.
So devotional service exclusively being offered to God.
Correct.
Is the devotional service.
Correct. Exactly right.
But is it true that when we are into Krishna conscious, then we don't have to worry about even Pitra?
That's a very good question also. And the answer is yes, that's correct. If you are serving Krishna, then just like when you water the root of a tree, everything about the tree, the stems, the branches, the twigs, the leaves, they're all nourished.
Right.
Just like you put food in your stomach, then all your limbs are nourished. Similarly, all the demigods and everybody is part and parcel of Krishna. So when Krishna is satisfied, everybody is automatically satisfied. So
what was your question, Mataji? What was your question? Sorry.
My question was, once we become Krishna conscious, like we start chanting and all, are we still obligated with the Pitra, Rin, and Mata? I think I read somewhere in Gita that you don't have to anymore. So that's what Prabhuji was asking.
Thank you.
Okay. So now I should point out that the more pure you are, the less is the need to do that. And we are not pure, so don't just avoid it saying, I'm pure devotee, I don't have to do it. So if you have an opportunity to do that, you should do that. Lord Chaitanya himself went to a place called Gaya to offer oblations for his forefathers. So it's not that it's a forbidden activity for devotees. It's just called, it's not necessary for the pure devotees. Okay?
Prabhuji, what is the definition of pure devotee? What if I assume I am a pure devotee, but Krishna doesn't think I am a pure devotee? So why would I assume myself that I'm a pure devotee?
So that's right, don't assume.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So how can we like not do things for our parents?
That's what I'm saying, that therefore you should go ahead and do it. That's what
Isn't that the called the...
Sorry, can I see you, please? I just get very uncomfortable when I don't see the person I'm talking to. Thank you.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. So, no, it's Usha. Yes, so I forgot what I was asking actually.
Sorry, yeah.
I'll ask maybe later. Sorry.
Okay. No worries. Okay, so let's move on because we're getting close to the end time. Okay. So then in, I think I was getting 31. Okay. Yeah, in 31, Krishna is saying that no one can ever live happily in this life or next life without sacrifice. But he also cautions that sacrifice performed in knowledge is better than mere sacrifice of material possessions with no understanding of why you're doing this. Srila Prabhupada actually explains in his purport that the purpose of all sacrifices is to gain complete knowledge, then to gain release from material miseries, and ultimately to become Krishna conscious. There's 3 stages: to gain knowledge, gain release from material miseries, and then become Krishna conscious. That's the purpose of sacrifice. The performer of the sacrifice who has reached the stage of transcendental knowledge is known as Gyan Khandi or Gyani, and is considered more advanced than those who sacrifice their material possessions without such knowledge. And they are the Karm Khandis or Karma Yogis that we talked about yesterday, last week. Because basically, without such knowledge, the sacrifices remain on material platform with no spiritual benefit. And this is what we were discussing earlier. When you just simply do something for somebody without understanding why, it's just material activity. There's no spiritual benefit of that. And so therefore, the real knowledge culminates in Krishna consciousness, which is the highest stage of transcendental knowledge. Okay. Sometimes the vast variety of knowledge that's available can be confusing and bewildering. So therefore, Krishna recommends that one must go to a guru. Now we are verse 34. Must go to a guru to learn. Because a guru is wise, self-realized, and he has seen the truth. A guru is happy to impart his wisdom to those who approach him. But how? Those who approach him in a submissive mood and do polite and sincere inquiries. So it's very clearly saying, don't go to a guru to ask silly questions or useless questions or ask in a challenging mood, not willing to accept. So don't go to your guru and say, so Guruji, can you tell me how to make more money? Guruji, can you tell me how can I, get a promotion, or how can I buy a bigger house? Where should I invest? Those are stupid questions for a guru. Do not do that. Or Guruji, bless me so I can have a son. No, not proper. So we go to a guru for the deception of the truth. But of course, the guru has to be bona fide also. Bona fide means genuine, authentic guru who comes from disciplic succession or in disciplic succession. And doing that, which is receiving the truth from a bona fide guru, is the guaranteed way of never again falling into illusion that we are this body or this material world is our world, etc. Krishna then compares, I should say, not compares, likens the material world with an ocean of miseries. But then he says, this boat of knowledge, so knowledge is like a boat that can help even the worst sinners cross over this ocean. And then he adds that just like a blazing fire burns the wood to ashes, the fire of knowledge burns all karmas to ashes. Remember, what was the highest stage of knowledge? That was Krishna consciousness. So Krishna consciousness will burn all our karmas to ashes. A person in knowledge attains transcendental peace, but an ignorant, faithless, and doubting person is completely lost. The doubting soul does not find peace in this world or the next. And finally, Krishna recommends Arjun to remove the doubts in his heart with the weapon of knowledge. And get this is the question that Nitu was asking. And he says, and stand and fight. He never said run away from the battlefield. He said, get this knowledge, surrender to me, and stand here and fight. So in summary, Krishna is declaring knowledge to be the key. And the way to acquire knowledge is to listen to a bona fide guru. But how? In a submissive mood and making polite and sincere inquiries, as we were saying before. Krishna stresses that those who doubt everything, they can never be happy. And that faith in a superior source of understanding is essential to find happiness. So this word faith will come many, many times during Gita. Because that's fundamental requirement. And this is why, if you remember, in my invitation to you, I was saying one of the requirements to attend this class is that you have faith that Krishna is Supreme Personality of God. That faith is missing, none of these classes will make any sense. So he's saying, Krishna is saying that faith in a superior source of understanding is essential to understand Gita and to find happiness in this life and next. Therefore, it's imperative that we trust our scriptures and that we keep association of and serve those who exemplify the instructions and messages of the scriptures, and those who belong to a bona fide disciplic succession, meaning devotees. The words of Gita are spoken by Krishna, who is the person with supreme knowledge and free from any defects or ignorance. Therefore, his words are free from any defects or ignorance. Krishna is everything and everywhere. He is with all of us, and by knowing him, we can be in touch with all beings everywhere. To know him is the purpose of human life. And he is the boat that will carry us over this ocean of miseries. I'm going to stop. And I do have a few questions that I would like to ask. And then you can ask your questions. But I just want to warn, there's only 3 minutes left. So once again, anyone who wishes to leave is welcome to do so. No offense will be taken. Okay. So I've answered this question already, but I'm going to ask again. What is a bona fide guru? What's the definition of a bona fide guru?
Authentic. I'm using those words actually. You said
sure. Good.
He's very authentic.
That means you were listening.
And coming from a parampara, like basically disciplic succession. Third, I forgot. I have to think about it. You said 3 things actually. Disciplic succession, and basically very authentic and probably truthful.
Self-realized.
Self-realized.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Self-realized.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is our disciplic succession? What is our disciplic succession? What's the name of our disciplic succession?
I think
Gaudiya Sampradaya.
So Gaudiya Sampradaya is correct, but there's a little bit more to, like, this longer name. Where did it start? So who did it start with? Krishna. But then who's the head of our Sampradaya?
I thought.
Is it Saraswati Thakur?
No. It is like, let's go long ways back.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
No.
Prabhupada?
No, long back. Long way. Go back. Go back millions of years.
Oh.
Then Krishna.
Well, no, you already agreed. Krishna is source. Huh?
We are from Gaudiya Sampradaya.
Yes, but there's something before that.
Adi Shankara?
No. Adi Shankara is not even. Okay. No. So who heard the flute of Krishna?
Brahma.
Yes, Brahma.
Oh, I thought so.
Okay.
Brahma Vaishnava Gaudiya Sampradaya.
Well, so no, it's not yet.
Okay.
So Brahma. Then we go from Brahma to Narad Muni. Narad Muni to Vyasadeva.
Wow.
Yeah.
Vyasadeva to Madhvacharya. So this is Brahma, Madhva. And then down the line to Lord Chaitanya, which is Gaudiya.
Yeah.
So we have Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya Sampradaya. Okay. So I say Sampradaya. What does Sampradaya mean?
Lineage, heritage.
Yes, that's correct. Can you define? That's the right translation. What's the definition?
Like a group of people having the same type of faith.
Okay, very good, very good. Yes, that's the answer. But I'm going to give you a little more complete answer. So sampradaya. Okay.
Same.
No, some doesn't mean same. No.
No?
Some
We heard
comes
it.
from the some comes from the word samyak. Complete. Yes. Who said complete?
Complete. I
Some
said.
means complete. Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Some means complete, which comes from samyak. Same as sankirtan, same thing. Samyak. It's complete. Pradaya means is coming down the line.
Right. Yes.
One person gets another one, who gets another one.
Yeah.
Right? So complete knowledge given completely to a person who receives it completely and gives to somebody else completely. And that's what makes sampradaya. Right? If somebody in the middle changes something, then it's not sampradaya anymore. It's broken. Okay? And anything that does not originate with Krishna is called apasam.
What's that?
Up. Up mane bekar wala.
Incomplete.
I can't hear you. Say that again.
Yeah, I think I'm going to mute everybody because it's kind of echoing. Okay. Apasampradaya. Okay. Apasampradaya. So apa means impure or subordinate. So it's not a pure sampradaya, apasampradaya. So anything does not start with Krishna is apasampradaya. Somebody made it up somewhere in the middle. Therefore, it's not a bona fide sampradaya. And in disciplic succession, you connect to Krishna ultimately through your guru, then his guru, then his guru, then his guru, so on and so forth. Up the chain until we reach Krishna. Okay, making sense? Okay. So I'm going to stop here and allow you to ask any questions. Once again, inviting anyone who needs to leave. Please don't be shy. Feel free to go. But you're welcome to stay, obviously.
Hare Krishna, Tashri.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
How are you?
I'm good. My question is, how do you know that we are following the parampara?
Well, so the way you know you're following the parampara is if your guru is in the parampara. So that's the very first thing. Then you know if you're following the instructions of the guru and only repeating his words, not trying to put your own interpretation to what he's saying. So what is allowed? You can give examples from a personal life or any life for that matter, but you cannot change the philosophy that you received from the guru. That will break the sampradaya. So if you're doing that, you're breaking it, you're no longer in the sampradaya.
Okay, that's good. And I'm leaving soon. That's why I have one question. Is this okay?
Absolutely okay, yes.
Okay, then what is the difference between a saint and a devotee?
A saint and a devotee.
And a devotee.
So first of all, let me put it this way. A saint doesn't have to be a devotee, but a pure devotee is almost always a saint. So what does that mean? The definition of saint is someone who has realized the absolute truth, but not necessarily the personal form of the Lord, therefore not a devotee of the Lord, but is a jnani. Right? And sometimes the word saint is also used loosely. Anybody taking sannyas is a saint, which is not true. So if you use the genuine definition of saint, then a saint is full of knowledge. He imparts knowledge to other people, but is not necessarily a devotee of the Lord.
Okay, thank you.
Right? So for example, I mean, you have, many munis, like Vishwamitra Muni, for example. There were other munis, Bhrigu Muni and all that. They were not pure devotees. But Narad Muni was. So Narad Muni is a devotee and a saint. Right? We are trying to be devotees, but we're barely saint.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just, yeah. Am I answering your question?
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay.
And I have very, very small one question.
Take two.
Yes. Why did Sri Krishna? Yes, sorry.
Oh, I'm saying I can't see you.
Okay,
Anyway,
you can't see it. Okay. Okay. My just very short question. Why did Sri Krishna choose Arjun in the Bhagavad Gita and not anyone else?
Yeah, we answered that question earlier in the class. So basically, we were saying that he says to Arjun in 4.3, verse number 3 and 4 chapter, he says, I am giving you this secret knowledge because you are my devotee and my friend. So what that meant was that as a devotee, is receptive. And is receptive in a submissive mood, considering Krishna to be the supreme authority on everything. And a friend in that he's not blindly accepting it. He's comfortable enough to say, why this, why that? So he asks questions. He scrutinizes what Krishna is saying, analyzes it. He doesn't understand it, he explains it again. But he's not arguing for the sake of arguing. He's saying, hey, fine, but I don't understand this, I don't understand that. There's some questions he asked many, many times. Same question repeats. He says, I still didn't understand it. I still didn't understand it. I said, that's fine, no worries, I'll explain it to you.
And finally he understood, right?
Finally he understands so well. How did he express his understanding? Like how did he convince Krishna? Yes, I understood what you're saying. He said finally, all my doubts are gone and I will follow all your instructions. So you're saying, how do I know I'm following Sampradaya? When you're following all the instructions of a guru, you're following Sampradaya. When you're only
Thank you
repeating
so much.
his words, then you're following Sampradaya.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Very welcome.
Prabhuji, I will like to say, like, because he was so close, he was a close friend, a big devotee of Krishna. He was knowing all these things. He was asking for us, like for a common man.
Correct.
So it was all, he was pretending like he is not able to understand, but probably he wanted Krishna to give more explanation for the benefit of all of us.
Absolutely. So they were both acting their roles for our benefit.
Yes.
That's correct. Shilpi, go ahead. Shilpi, you were asking?
I think she has kept mute.
She's muted.
That's why she...
Sorry.
There you go. Yeah, okay.
How, we talked about faith, right? Then, and we talked about guru, right? And for someone to choose their, and then, in somewhere in these stanzas, they said that one should have a guru, right? Who is more elevated, has more knowledge, that can, who can guide us through. As a normal person, like, just like me, like how can I choose or make the decision that this person should be my guru? Is it like someone who has to like go dig deeper and then based on faith? Like, what is the definition of guru and how can someone find a guru?
Yeah. Excellent question, by the way. So a guru, first of all, is found by the mercy of Krishna. And Krishna is found by the mercy of Guru. So that's something to keep in mind. So therefore, Krishna will find you the Guru if Krishna feels you're sincere in your desire to find one. So that's the first thing. In a more practical way, the way to find a Guru is to listen to him. Listen to his classes, listen to his advice, talk to his disciples in terms of what qualities this particular guru imbibes, what his focus is, and then you ask yourself, does this fit in? So for example, some gurus have complete focus on book distribution, and that's their life, and that's what they want and encourage the devotees, the disciples to do. Some gurus are very shastric, and they They emphasize the importance of studying the scriptures, mastering it, and that's all they talk about. If you listen to their classes, they're very sastric, very technical, and frankly, difficult to understand for some of us. Some gurus are into more practical ways. You know, they're always talking about how to be a devotee in our everyday life. So different gurus have different emphasis on things, different style, and the disciples reflect the style of the guru. And you can see it if you meet the disciples of Radhanath Swami, with disciples of Gopal Krishna Swami, with disciple of Bhaktivinoda Swami, you see the difference. So you deal with the disciples, listen to the classes, their messages, their style, and then somehow you will know in your own heart, this guru is for me.
Is there a one is better than others, or
No.
it's just different way?
Remember, they're all on a spiritual platform. So there's no such thing as better or worse. It's who you connect with.
That's very, because, you know, I always confuse how nowadays, like, you know, we have mentors.
Yes.
Like work, I have a mentor. Then there is a, like when I go to gym, there is somebody who I can think as a mentor. But then there is in the spiritual world, we have a guru. So
No. You have a mentor also. So like in the temple, for example, there are many mentors, and you should take one who will help you find a guru also. They won't recommend one, but they help you. They take you through that, you know, test phase basically. You know, and they'll tell you basically what I just told you. Go listen to the class of different gurus, pick one, and then talk to the disciples, see what their style is, what the style of the disciples is. Do you get along with them or not? They're your type or not? On and on and on. So you go through that phase of testing your own potential guru. Because don't do this lightly. Guru disciple is a lifetime, life after lifetime relationship. So you don't want to do it lightly. Certainly you don't want to give up a guru for no fault of his once you've accepted one.
So when people take Krishna consciousness, you know, when people take initiation, is that the time when they usually decide and they follow along those people? I don't know.
Initiation is too late. Initiation means already accepted the guru, and guru has accepted you. So this is before. This is way before.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, sure.
Find one.
Find a mentor first.
Okay.
The mentor will help you find the guru.
What is the difference between the mentor and the...
Good question.
Sorry, what's the question?
What is the difference between mentor or the guru?
Okay.
Knowledge, the amount of knowledge.
So let me try this. So a mentor is like a Shiksha Guru. Somebody who guides you, but there could be somebody like me, for example.
Yeah.
I'm not at a guru level by any definition. Whether it's knowledge or devotional service or whatever, there's no comparison. So, and I'm teaching you this course. So I'm like a Shiksha Guru to you. So someone like me can provide some guidance to you in anything, basically your personal life, material life, spiritual life, technical questions, scriptural questions, whatever. And you work with this person for a while, like a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever. And when you feel you're ready and the mentor feels you're ready, then you start looking for a guru.
So, you are knowledgeable, you are devotee, you have been...
It's all relative.
It's like a certain level you have to reach to be a guru?
No, so it's not just knowledge. So first of all, the fundamental definition, well, there are few fundamental definitions, but the most fundamental definition of a guru is given by Lord Chaitanya.
Okay.
Who says, and I'm going to say it in Bengali and I'll translate this. Keva Nyasi, Keva Vipra, Shudra ke no noy, Jai Krishna Tattvavetta, say Guru hoy. He's saying it doesn't matter whether you're a sannyasi or a Brahmin or a Shudra. That's not the criteria. The criteria is who knows the truth about Krishna. And the only person who knows the truth about Krishna is the one who's developed the love of Krishna in his heart. Krishna says, you can only know me through devotional service. So whose devotional service is pure, who's got love in his heart for Krishna, only he can be good. So I kind of fail right there. So that's one definition. Second definition is the one who understands the scriptures extremely well and convince other people of what the scriptures are saying are true, is eligible to become a guru. So I fail again.
Match.
Huh?
I think you're a perfect match.
No. This is all relative. I hardly, and I'm being very honest, I hardly understand anything.
Okay.
So can we understand that one who is like has gone through all the ladders of yoga and achieved the last step can be considered as guru?
No, can become eligible to be a guru. Okay. That's correct.
So where to find the guru? Is there any directory or is there any links to find the good gurus? Or
do you know anyone?
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
So there are, I forget the number, but I think there's something like 120, 130 gurus in ISKCON.
Exactly.
Right? Obviously, you don't know them all because some never come to North America. But you probably know maybe 10, 15, or at least know the names of 10, 15 gurus, and you should start listening to their classes. But once again, first thing you should do is find a mentor, somebody who can help you. So like, I know you're good friends with Nandi Mukhi. So work with her and say, hey, help me find, take me through the process. Okay, don't let her tell you a name. Tell her, take it through the process. Because you don't want a guru of her choice, you want a guru of your choice. And I'm saying all respects to Nandi Mukhi, she's like a daughter to me, I love her. But it's just for anybody, I would say the same thing. You want a guru for yourself, not for somebody else. So don't let anybody tell you the name, just help you find one by going through the process I was describing. What qualities are you looking for? What's your style? Do you fit in? Is his qualities consistent with your qualities you're looking for? Now, what mood does he imbibe? Is that same mood as yours? Etc. etc.
But before finding a guru, we have to find the mentor first.
Yeah, like you already have one. As I said, just work with Nandi Mukhi.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have a quick question about gurus. I'm from Vancouver. My name is Anju.
Anju Mataji,
my question,
I know who you are. I just can't see you right now. Can you see you also?
Oh, I'm in a very bad situation.
Okay,
we are
right.
moving today.
You look great to me.
Thank you. We are moving around here and there.
Okay.
Anyway,
no
my quick question
Uh-huh.
about gurus. As you're saying that we need to listen different gurus to make a decision on it. I'm working on it, and it's pretty difficult to listen quite many. First of all, it's very difficult to pick one. Secondly, if you pick one, it's hard to listen all the classes, what their preachings, what their ideas, because life, how Canadian lives, we are busy. We try to be follow the spiritual path as much as we can with the material life and all that. It's very hard. So if there's two guru, I really like them, and I'm very confused which one to pick. And when I did the disciple course, they were saying there's three stages of gurus, three different type of gurus. Madhyam gurus, I forgot all the names. You probably know. There's the middle level, low level, middle level, and the high level. So people like
devotee.
Sorry,
that's that type of guru. That's devotee. So Madhyam Adhikari.
It mentioned about the gurus too. There's three different types of gurus.
Okay.
It says, I will send you where I read all that. I will find it.
That's very dangerous. Don't go there.
It was through the disciple. Even Nandi Mukhi Mataji knows where I asked her that question too. I will send you, when I did the disciple course, it was it said 3 different types of gurus, like Madhyam type and all that.
Mataji,
So anyway,
that's dangerous. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway,
Fall
we
in
can.
that trap.
Okay.
Anyway, go ahead.
So it's very difficult for us to pick one. First, so suppose if I pick one, right now I like the association of the devotees, and maybe on a longer path we don't get along. Who knows, right? And I might go through with the difficulties from the senior devotees. Maybe my guru will listen to the senior devotee because he's been with them for a longer period of time. And maybe my guru doesn't listen me very well what I'm trying to say, because I'm new in that path. He doesn't know how good I am and what kind of service, like how spiritual I am and all that. Maybe in that scenario, I'm finding very difficulty to pick a guru, especially for the junior and senior situation, and plus whom to pick. In like from all of those, like I can follow a couple of them, but it's very difficult in your daily life routine to listen everything about the different type from gurus. It's hard.
Sure, I agree.
So how can you guide me on that?
Okay, so Mother, we'll have to take it offline because it's a personal question, first of all. Second, it's not a question I can answer in a few minutes. It'll take hours.
Okay.
So I'm happy to work with you offline.
Okay.
If you want to give me a call some other time.
Sure, Prabhuji.
We can work on it. And if you want, you can... Sorry?
Sorry, sir. Just go ahead.
I was saying that if you want, you can get Nandimukhi involved in the conversation.
Sure.
And then we can discuss it. I'll be happy to do that.
Sure. No problem. I'll be very happy if you can help me on it, because it's very difficult.
I understand. Sure. Thank you.
One from page 40.
Prabhuji.
So somebody else was talking.
Sorry, go ahead.
Who was that?
I started. I don't know. I think we both started together.
Okay, go ahead. You go ahead then. Fine.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
So I had 2 questions. One is, it is also, I mean, I read it somewhere in the scriptures where, and you mentioned it partly earlier also, where when the disciple is ready, the guru will appear. And you mentioned it in your example where you said, Krishna sends you the guru when you're ready.
Yes.
So for instance, this whole seeking a guru, is it just simpler to just start in the path with your daily what we are doing right now, whether it's japa and all of this, and the guru will appear? Is that something? Or
well, so yeah, guru will appear if you are qualified.
Right.
So, and there are qualifications of a disciple that are very important to understand also. Like, the problem we have, and I'm not talking about anybody in particular, but just general, the problem we have is that we have a higher estimation of ourselves and a lower estimation of everybody else. It's just everybody. It's not one person I'm talking about. Everybody. And so we think we're qualified before we are qualified. I can tell you there are people who want to get initiated for the sake of status. There's something status about being first or second initiated. And all their purpose is just get that status. They're not qualified.
But this is so hard to be a devotee. How somebody want to be it only for the sake of status? It's hard to maintain that.
Well, Mataji, I know many, not one. I'm talking about dozens.
Really?
Right here in North America.
Bhagwan ji se bhi cheating.
Bilkul. Bhagwan is the first one you cheat.
Everybody does cheat.
Bhagwan is the first one you cheat.
अच्छा.
लोग भगवान के अंदर ही तो ज्यादा चीटिंग करते हैं.
बिल्कुल हाँ.
बिजनेस भी भगवान जी के साथ होता है.
क्योंकि वो सोचते हैं लाइसेंस मिल गया है.
Yeah. So English please, because there are some people who don't understand Hindi.
Okay. They do business with Bhagwan ji.
They do business, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. This is, yeah. So I understand. So that means you become eligible through your sadhana and yeah. Okay, I get it.
And that's the role the mentor plays. He'll tell you or she'll tell you if you're ready.
So you do have someone there. You do have a guide or a mentor. Like there is someone in your path. You're saying that that is important. That your path is there. Someone there to support your path so that you are doing the sadhana and you are on your way.
Right.
So that the guru, once you're ready, you're eligible, the guru does appear.
Right. Are you in Toronto?
Yes.
Okay, so in Toronto, we have a mentorship system where we work with people, we assign them a mentor, and they work with the mentor for a long time, like 12 months, 18 months, 2 years.
Right.
And the mentor would monitor your progress. How many rounds you're chanting, what services you're doing, what you're reading, who you're listening to, and on and on and on. And only when through their conversations mutually agree that yes, you're ready, then you start looking for a guru. And then you take a shelter with a guru for a minimum period of 6 months. And that 6 months is the testing period. You test the guru and the guru tests you. And then you get the initiation. So it's not your choice, it's guru's choice.
Right.
You can't say that I'm ready, Guru Maharaj, give me the initiation now. You cannot demand that. Just like you cannot demand anything from Krishna.
So there is a probation period, 6 months.
Well, it's not probation because you haven't started anything. It's testing period. The testing. Is this for me or not? And Guru saying the same thing. Is this my disciple or not? Right? And most gurus will ask the senior disciple or disciples in the city where you are whether you actually are going to be a good disciple. If the senior person says no, she's not ready, he's not ready, then we'll give it.
Right. I was listening to Acharya Amrinder Das.
Amrinder, yeah.
Yeah. And his life, and he was talking about how his family guru guided him in his life, in the sense what he studied, what he is now, like even in his karmic life, what he's doing, it's all tied in.
Yeah.
So I think, that was, it's such a beautiful thing. It's such a joy to see that, that someone's life is already been taken care, like while we struggle and we are wondering.
Yes.
He just has to just let go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. You surrender to Guru and then follow the advice. I mean, look.
So
thank you.
Arjuna accepted Krishna as Guru. And Krishna said to Arjuna, kill Bhishma. Even when he's not fighting. Kill it. And he said, okay, because you say so, I'll do it. That is the surrender. Ask yourself, are you ready for that level of surrender to your Guru? Right? So now, mind you, very few people in all honesty will say yes or can say yes. But I'm just giving an example that that's the real disciple. So it's not easy. Just say, I want a Guru because it's a status thing. I have a Guru also. It's not about that at all.
You have a Guru, Prabhuji?
Yes,
of course, right?
Yes.
And you cannot be Guru, but you can be a mentor?
Yes.
Okay.
But will you ever be a Guru? Like,
No, he said he is not eligible yet.
I'll never be.
Well, maybe you are being humble.
No, I'm not. Humility is not in me.
And basically, he is our Guru. He is our Siksha Guru.
Siksha Guru, yes. Siksha Guru, yes. But Siksha Guru basically means teacher.
Hare Krishna, Shiksha Guru.
I
want to ask
Master
you.
Twinkle.
No, student Twinkle. I want to be student.
Okay.
So 2 questions. The first one was, you said there are specific qualifications for a student as well. Can you name some of them?
Sure. So one is humility. Others desire to serve, desire to surrender, sincerity and devotional service, willingness to serve, willingness to read, willingness to listen, willingness to submit to the senior devotees, willingness to develop friendship with equal devotees, willingness to preach, distribute books, show compassion. It's like long list. And I'm just going on top of my head.
Is there anywhere we can probably read these?
I'm sure there is. I can't remember offhand where, but I'm sure there is. I mean, there's no particular book for it, but I'm sure there's some book which mentioned it.
Okay. And then my second question was, I think I read this in text 17, I guess, in the purport. So it was regarding action, inaction, and forbidden action. And then one of the sentences in the purport said, you need to understand like your relationship with Krishna. So on those lines, like I want to understand my relationship with Krishna, but how can I even do that? Like,
So,
how do I do that?
At a very simple level, your relationship with Krishna is that you are his eternal servant. Which means whatever you do, you should ask yourself a question. Is this going to please Krishna? If the answer is no, don't do it. Now, it's very hard, but I'm telling you what real disciple is, what real devotee is. So, and you remain conscious of Krishna's presence everywhere. And you have the faith that Krishna is present everywhere. And then you have the faith that whatever service I do, Krishna will accept it. I'm making this garland, Krishna will wear it. I'm cooking this bhoga, Krishna will eat it. And the deity is not a stone, a statue. Deity is Krishna, alive. And I'll tell you an example. In Toronto, one day the pujari was trying to dress Radha Chicho Gopinath. And the same skirt that Radharani had put on many times before would not fit that day, would not fit. Which means she had gained some weight. I'm not making it up. And then after a few weeks, the same skirt fit, no problem. I can tell you, and many devotees did the same thing. You go to the temple and you see Radha Krishna smiling like anything. And another day, they don't smile.
I experienced it one time.
Yeah, I'm glad.
I don't know, it was my illusion?
No, it's not your illusion. They're reciprocating with you.
I don't know.
They're reciprocating with you. You don't have to be pure devotee to have reciprocation. You just have a sincere desire. There's some days
it
when
was my desire, or it was my illusion, or it was my maybe wishful thinking.
No.
I couldn't tell.
No, it's not.
Is
And
it what we... Sorry, Prabhu.
There are days when the cheeks look chubby. Other days they look normal. So, they are changing. Just forget about all that. I met a devotee in Los Angeles who showed me Shaligram Shila. You know Shaligram Shila is? Okay. So she has like 250 Shaligram Shilas and all day she serves them. Her eyesight is poor, but she just doesn't go anywhere. She does that. And she showed me one of the Shilas. She said when she got it, it was this big. And over the years, it's grown this big. This Shila. The first hand experience, I'm telling you.
What is Shila?
Shila is like a, you have not seen Shaligram Shila? It's like, it looks like a stone.
Stone.
Mostly round shape, but not necessarily always round. Can be any shape, basically. And I know of a person who has gone Nitai, serving them for many years. When she started, they were this big. Now they're this big. True stories. So they're very much alive.
Yeah, I was reading a book once which had like it was about real life devotees who have stories with like experiences like that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's nothing new. I mean, there's so many, full of stories like that. We know the Sakshi Gopal who walked 400 kilometers because the devotee said, you need to walk. 400 kilometers they walked, the deity. Known as Sakshi Gopal, very famous deities.
So if they see you, when they see you, they get like one day they smile and one day they're upset. Is it like with us or is it with the temple bhogs or something else? With
Could be anything.
So how,
it could be anything. It could be anything. Who knows? Right? But my point simply is that they're very much alive. They're Krishna themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
That's my point.
Yes. Yes.
I have a question, Prabhuji. When you do the stapna of the deities in the temple, why do they blindfold them for a couple of days?
I never heard that, mother.
Oh, so here in the Vancouver Mahalakshmi temple, they did the stapna of all the new murtis, all of them. And they did the puja for 1 week and all the murtis were like blindfolded. And I think on the 3rd day or the 5th day, I don't remember, they finally took that blindfold and decorate them and dress them and everything. They did the huge big puja, but all 5 or 7 deities were like blindfolded, and I was too scared to ask because I was like, okay, being Hindu, you should know it, and I was like, I don't know.
I know, and I don't know either, and frankly, I never heard that. I don't think we do that in ISKCON.
I think, yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know the reason.
I just know this because my Masi was telling me about this. That nursing statue cannot be like, it cannot be in every temple. Like just like there is a process that needs to be followed in order for their statue to be at any temple. Otherwise, like she was telling me about like different instances where it failed, like they didn't get the murti there in place.
Yeah, so you have to be careful with Lord Nrsimhadev because he can get very angry. And the other thing is that worshipping Lord Nrsimhadev is very tricky. You have to be very pure and very careful and all this kind of things. So not every temple wants to because they can't. They can serve.
No cheating. No cheating with Nrsimhadev.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to be careful. And same thing with Lord Krishna. It's a very, Prabhupada used to call it like a razor's edge. You have to be very careful or you get cut. So this is why in the age of Kali, Prabhupada said just worship God Nitai. They're very forgiving.
What is the age you should take the initiation? I know it's when you're ready. I know when your heart is ready.
That's right.
But what is the ideal age? When did you take it?
I took very late, but it's like saying, how tall should you be? I mean, I don't know. Different countries, different, so I don't think there's anything like that. When you're ready, we're ready. And and you will know when you're ready. Just don't try to cheat yourself. Don't try to cheat Guru. Don't try to cheat Krishna.
May I ask a question?
Yes. Can you give me 1 second? I'll be back in 1 second, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks.
I'll take it maybe after my 50s.
There is something that my mom always told me. I don't know how helpful this is going to be for anybody, but she always told me one thing. Whenever I skipped doing mala, or whenever I skipped doing any devotional service, she would always tell me that, and I would be like, okay, so when I'm older, when I'm your age, I'll probably do it then. So then she told me, would you like freshly farm, like freshly coming from the farm fruit, or would you like a very rotten food? So obviously the choice is simple, right? So that's how Krishna would like you as well. That's what she told me. So I don't know if this helps anybody, but you can start whenever you want, basically.
and basically, when who has seen it tomorrow?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing.
Go
So yeah, sorry, I just wanted to share that.
Go ahead. Finish.
Oh, I did.
Okay, that's okay.
So I just, wanted to ask this question, and maybe it's just like my.
Your sound's gone.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, yeah. I can hear you now.
Okay. So this is my situation, that I just love hearing about Krishna stories. And I've told you many times that I love even hearing from you, because it's just like I can sit whole day, whole night and not have you stop at all. It's just so lovely, and I just get merged into it that I forget everything. But when it comes to even thinking about initiation or finding a guru or even finding a mentor, but what I've seen with me is I connect with the devotees of the disciples of Gopal Krishna Swami Maharaj. I find that they're very sweet, they're very acceptable, they're very loving. This is my experience that's have been in my in the temple that I've been almost 8-9 years now. But still, I don't feel like right now approaching anybody and saying, can you be my mentor? Because I feel I am not ready to do that commitment. I don't know why, but I just love coming to ISKCON, love serving, hearing about him. And even in my house, half of the day, I'm always playing. Anytime if I'm not working, if I'm doing my house chores, I'm always have that kirtan in my house that I'm playing. Wonderful. So sometimes I also worry that I may not ever get the feeling of, getting a mentor or what. Then what?
Well, so mentor doesn't require a lot of commitment. A mentor is a guide for you, someone who can help you make this kind of decisions and keep you on the right track. That's basically what mentor does. So you don't need a commitment as such to have a mentor.
Yes, I tried to be honest. This was like 4 or 5 years, 2015. I'm talking. So 5 years ago, I started with somebody, but she was a BMS initiated, double initiated, very sweet lady. But when I started chanting, 4 rounds, and I felt like after that I was getting a pressure of, okay, now increase your rounds. I was like, no, not yet. Let me just do a little more. I was like, but no, so I actually just, then stopped. I said, no, I think it's a lot of pressure for me right now, and I can't take it because I have other commitments also, that I need to fulfill. And because of that fear of pressure, being pressured, I don't even want to approach a mentor. Like, Nitya Tripta is such a nice lady. I feel like talking to her, and she's so welcoming. I even went to Gopal Krishna Swami Maharaj's Vyas Puja, and that was my first time I went last year. And I've attended other Vyas Puja as well, but his Vyas Puja was very different. And when I came home, I was in such a bliss, I cannot even tell you. It was so nice. And like the devotees overall, I felt like, this is different. But I'm still afraid to approach any of the mentor thinking, oh God, what if they pressure me?
No, so clearly that person was not well trained as a mentor. Because that kind of pressure is not supposed to be there. You should be allowed to go at your pace.
Right. Okay.
Maybe you can talk offline about this.
Oh,
And
sure. Yeah,
I can help you probably find a mentor.
Okay. Yeah. I don't mind somebody who's very, easygoing.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
I would love to be honest. I have that desire, knowing about Krishna and learning everything about it.
Which is Rupanuga Prabhu, very easygoing.
Yeah, but
He's dealing with me, right?
Actually, I'm under the impression that a female can only have a female mentor. Is it true?
Yes, true. It's true.
Is it?
Yeah, officially.
Yes. Actually, I was talking to somebody. I said, you know what? I really like Rupanuga Prabhu's everything. I mean, I've attended your classes, even your leadership training whole day. I told you personally that I picked up a couple of points that I'm still using it, and it's helping me in my own work, in my life. But I cannot have you as my mentor. So somebody suggested actually ask him, maybe he can pick a woman who is somebody like him. I was like, okay. I was like, how can, but he's a man and he's different. And how would he know about a woman?
So mentor and guru should be of the same gender as of devotee?
No. Good. Right now, you only have male gurus. So whether you're female or male disciple, you got only male gurus. But mentor, because a much closer relationship.
Okay.
We insist that's there, because in the past there have been problems because of gender differences. There were some exploitations and other bad things happen. So we say we restrict that to male to male, female to female.
So can we skip the mentor and direct choose the guru?
You can. In Vancouver you can. In Toronto you cannot.
Okay. If we have someone, I have someone in my mind, so I can choose, right?
You can do that. Yes, absolutely. Like I say, in Toronto we will not let you do that. You have to go through mentorship system and be trained before you're allowed to take a guru. But in Vancouver, there's no mentorship system yet, no formal one anyway. So yeah, you choose that.
Okay.
Okay, it's 10:19. Maybe one last question and we'll stop.
Hey Bhagwan, it's too late for you, Prabhuji.
It's okay. No worries. Actually, you can now speak Hindi also because no, she's there. No, you can't. Okay.
I want to say that the faith, even material world, we need a faith. When we go to store, a bank, we have a faith. When we give the money, we know that they will put in our account and we'll get the thing. That's a faith too, right?
That's right. Absolutely.
So faith is very important, even material world too.
It's integral. Like we don't even realize it. Like you fly on an airplane.
We fly on an airplane. Same thing.
The guy has been trained properly. He's not drunk out of his mind and all those kind of things. We have that faith.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much for the class this evening.
Hi, Melanie. Yeah.
I did send you a question in the chat. It's more of a personal question I want to take offline, but if you
I
could
just read it. Yeah.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah. Actually, if you don't mind, send me an email with the same question.
Sure.
That will remind me to answer to you quickly.
Sure. I'll do that tonight. Thank you.
Please. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Good question, by the way. Okay. Anything else? All right. thank you
We
again.
can sit here whole day,
Uh,
whole night.
Thank you so much,
no,
Prabhuji.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Thank you. Hare Bol.
And
you
you're
so
going to
much.
send the
Hare
recording,
Krishna.
right, Prabhuji?
Yes, I got the recording today.
Thank you.
Um,
Sorry, go ahead, Pritham.
I just wanted to personally take a moment and thank you for the beginning part. I wasn't really expecting it.
Of course
This
not.
is something. This was something I think said to the DTs in my house. Like, is bar maza kharab kar diya, or
I know, yeah.
I just said it, and I was like, I didn't get to celebrate it with like my family and friends, and I guess wo wish puri ho gayi.
That's right. You got family and friends right here.
Yeah, so I was very, very, very surprised and happy at the same time. So thank you so much for that.
You're very welcome.
And I love your classes.
Thank you.
I just enjoy myself.
Thank
you
you
so
very
much.
much. You asked really good questions, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Good night,
Take care,
Prabhuji.
everybody. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.